Welcome back to Titter. On today's episode, we will be reading from the subreddit called Entitled Parents. We have a story by Nick is Vertical titled EP Tells Me to Get Out of My House. Here's some backstory. I'm 14 and I love playing video games just like any other 14-year-old does. I also have a little sister who just a week ago turned 10. Also keep in mind that all of this is translated into English, so the dialogues may be a little bit off. So this happened a week ago at my little sister's birthday party. Now, I am lucky to live in a 2-story house, so as any other 10-year-old, my sister invites all of her classmates. And I mean all of them. Now, I hate children except my sister and my cousin, so as to not interact with any of them, I stayed in my room on the 2nd floor, and I played God of War on my PlayStation. So the party was downstairs and I didn't think that anyone would come to my room, so I was playing until I heard a knock at my door. It was quite a long time since the party started, so I thought it was my mother trying to tell me that we were about to cut the cake and sing happy birthday and etc. And I say, come in. Me is me, or a dinosaur. EK is entitled kid. ED is entitled dad. And M is my mom. Me, come in. EK, can you tell me where the bathroom is? Me, sure, and I explained to him where it was. EK, okay, thank you. So it passes some time and I hear another knock on my door. Again, I say come in. ED, why did you kick my son out of your room? Me, he just asked where the bathroom was. ED, don't lie to me. Steps inside the room. Huh? What is this game? You are traumatizing my child with that violence and sexuality? Me, it's just a game. Can you please get out? ED, no, I won't until you explain to me why you are playing this game in front of my son. Me, I wasn't playing it in front of your son. Now get out. ED, listen here, young man. Stop lying and get out of the fucking house. Me, huh? You realize this is my house, right? ED, I don't care. Get out and give my son your Xbox. Me, you can't tell me what to do. It's my house and this is a PlayStation, not an Xbox. And then my mom comes in and she's really fed up with what is happening. My mom says, what is going on over here? ED, your son was watching porn in front of my son. She looks at the screen and was like, get the fuck out of my house and never step in here again. Yeah, I'm not too entirely sure about this one. Seems kind of fake, but we'll just go on to the next story. This next one is from Because Life Is, titled EP Went Ballistic Because I Told Their Precious Little Princess to Please Stop. Here's some background info. Where I live, the city council has passed an ordinance banning all vehicles, including bicycles, from parks with areas under a certain square meter due to previous accidents. Simply put, if it's a smaller park, you cannot ride a bike in there. There are signs posted here and there in each park stating the applicable rules. Granted, some people ignore the vehicle ban and still ride bikes in smaller parks, and others tend to turn a blind eye provided the cyclist doesn't cause any troubles. But basically, one can get fined for cycling where it's not allowed. So, this afternoon my family and I decide to go to a nearby park, which is obviously not big enough to allow bicycles. While we were having snacks, a kid, which is about 5 or 6 years old, on her bike dashed towards our directions and only stopped a few inches before us. I had only escaped a car crash less than 2 weeks ago, so this made me very nervous. But before my husband and I could say anything, the kid rode off. I looked and found out her whole family of 4 were cycling. No idea why they chose this park of all places. I mean, this park is small and the ground surface is uneven, but whatever floats their boat, I guess. We decided to finish our snacks and leave because I was already feeling quite uncomfortable. Before we could do that, the kid approached us again, this time on foot, so my guards were down. Next thing I knew, she freaking screamed in my and my child's right ears. My child was in my lap and legit terrified by the sudden shriek. Please stop, I said sternly as my husband comforted our child. It's hurting our ears. Then, the kid ran off wailing to her parents, as if I had just snatched her favorite teddy bear and torn it in half. Cue the raging cyclists family squad. ED, what the hell have you done to my daughter? Me, I asked her to please stop screaming in my ear. EM, she's just a little kid, you don't have to be so mean, you could have said it nicely. Me, I said please, if that's not enough, enlighten me. At this point I'm pissed enough to unlock my phone because I could tell this was not going to end well. ED to the kid. Oh, don't worry baby, mommy and daddy got your back. EM, bitch, you need to apologize for scaring our daughter now. Me, okay, you know what, I'm recording this. One more obscenity and you can consult your lawyer about slander. I'm not bluffing. There have been cases where one sues and wins for being called obscenities in public. I also happen to know that, at least where I live, recording in public exchange is perfectly legal provided A, I am part of it, B, other involved parties have been informed, and C, I don't use the footage for anything other than personal/legal purposes. My husband with a phone in his hand. Please leave us alone or I'll call the cops. EM, what? You think you own this park? ED to EM, let's go. Talking to these rotten jerks is just a waste of time. Me, I've told you, I'm recording this. First bitch, then rotten jerks. Prepare for some court time, honey. Husband at this point is calling the cops. EM, ha! Go ahead, I'll tell the cops you filthy bitches assaulted my daughter. Long story short, cops arrived, checked both footage from my phone and the park surveillance cameras and took our statements. The family got a ticket for violating the ordinance plus a warning against making false accusations and then got escorted out of the park. I had a belated panic attack after that. Still haven't decided whether or not I want to press charges because suing in this case seems somewhat extreme, but hopefully I will never have to see them again. The last one for today is by Sora Sunkist, titled EM Gets Thrown in Jail and Blames Everyone But Herself. A few years ago, my mom ended up in jail for knowingly and intentionally violating a court order, which, as any person would guess, is illegal. She was fully aware that what she did was illegal, but according to her, it was everyone else's fault but hers. In her eyes, she was allowed to do whatever she wanted to because she was a struggling single mother who just wanted to provide for her kids. Anyway, after her arrest, I had to go live with some rather distant relatives I haven't met during my lifetime until then, since my mom was really my only custodial figure. My relatives, a distant aunt and uncle whose daughter married into our family, were absolutely lovely people and were happy to take me in until the whole thing with my mom blew over, which by the way, it never did. After living with my mother for my whole life and dealing with her bullshit, I was so incredibly happy to be living with other people. They treated me like more of a daughter than my mom ever did, and honestly, they parented me more in a month than my mom had in the previous 3 years. Naturally, if my mom isn't making everyone miserable, she's not living. Even behind bars, she was tormenting me. Every day, she would call the landline at my aunt and uncle's house. She would call 4 times. Then, when no one answered, she would then call my uncle's cell phone twice. Then, when he didn't answer, she would call my aunt's cell twice. She did this from 8 to 9 in the morning and then 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Don't ask me how this woman got so many damn phone calls literally in jail. Why were we purposely dodging her calls? I'll tell you. At first we would answer the calls and try to entertain her. I would pick up and say hello and receive nothing but endless screaming from the other end. In case you haven't noticed, I am in jail, she would say, as if that was like not to my own knowledge. That would be followed by some more screaming about how awful it is and she doesn't even have toothpaste and she can't even wear earrings in jail. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? And then she would make her demands. You need to get me out of here. You need to get me a lawyer, and you better do it fast. I don't have time for this bullshit. At the time this was occurring, I was 15. I was pretty busy with school most of the time, and this was not a priority of mine. I said, you get a public defender though. She went insane. Can you not act fucking stupid? I need more than an idiot straight out of law school. I need someone who will give a damn and actually help me. I replied, okay. My stupid teenage self actually sat down and went through white pages, calling attorneys and leaving voice messages. Most of them were confused as to why me, a child, was calling for a grown-ass woman. Pretty much every attorney I could get to call me back either said they didn't take cases such as my mom's, they were busy with other cases, or just a flat-out no because they didn't want to. All very valid reasons. My mom didn't like hearing this. She accused me of lying about calling any attorneys and that I was just making shit up so I didn't have to do anything. She asked why my aunt and uncle weren't helping me and I just said I don't know, but really, they couldn't stand my mom. They recognized she was abusing me and just being a trashy, childish person in general, so naturally they decided to stay out of the mess, which I completely agree with. Soon enough, my mom took her demands a step further, telling me I needed to write into Dr. Phil, Nancy Grace, and Oprah. She said she needed her case to have national attention. I knew this was a fucking stupid idea when I heard it. Like any of these people gave a shit about my idiot mom getting herself tossed in jail. I did it anyway. I never got any responses, which I expected. My mom didn't like that one either. This is where we get Super Saiyan entitled Mom. I was in a grocery store one day and I saw one of my mom's old co-workers. My mom used to work at a thrift store that was affiliated with a women's charity organization that dealt with domestic violence and drug abuse. We said hello and then he asks me, "Is your mom still in jail?" I said yes and asked how he knew about that. It was never on the news. He then told me that my mom sent him a 15-page handwritten letter asking the organization to start an individual charity fund just for her to cover her bail, attorney costs, and court fees. Additionally, she asked that the minimum goal be $1 million. This is not a joke. My mom deadass tried to start a GoFundMe from behind bars. She didn't write into the local paper or maybe some personal friends, although she had none. She wrote to an organization that helps women get into rehab programs and out of abusive marriages. This woman had the audacity to beg for money from a group that doesn't even care about idiots in jail. Her argument? I'm a single mom. Being a single mom sucks and it's hard, but this woman did nothing to ever change our financial situation. She didn't work for nearly a decade for no reasons other than laziness, briefly worked odd-time jobs here and there, and then stopped working again. My jaw dropped to the floor when her co-workers told me about this. I was so embarrassed. Finally, one attorney I called before called me back and told me his rates, what he thought of the case, and etc. I relayed this message to my mom and what does she say? Why is he charging me? Did you tell him I'm a single mom? He should be taking my case for free. Obviously, I don't have that kind of money. Both I and my aunt and uncle were sick of this shit, so finally, we unhooked the landline and only turned on our cell phones after 3 p.m. I literally don't know how I'm a product of my mom's genes. She's completely off her rocker. That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching episode 2 of Entitled Parents. If you enjoy the content, be sure to comment down below and subscribe.